Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this video, I'm going to take a look at the best decks to climb to Legend in May 2020. There are going to be 7 decks featured in this video, so which are the best decks that you can climb with right now? If you're wondering about the Warriors graphic below my picture that says 27 out of 55, then that's because my content this week is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends is a role-playing game where you build a team of champions and have them explore dungeons and get some fat loot. And they would like to have some new players, so if you download the game through the link down below in the description and complete the tutorial, so until they stop telling you what to do, that would support my channel right now. But as for these Hearthstone decks, I can finally recommend a Priest deck for climbing. Galakrond Priest has been around for a while now. Now we finally have enough statistics to show that yes, this is a real thing, it's an effective deck, and also the meta has become more favorable to it, because Warrior has become much more popular. It's probably even the strongest deck right now, and Galakrond Priest is the best counter to Warrior, so that earns Galakrond Priest a place in the top decks. However, Galakrond Priest games take ages, so it's not a very effective way to climb even though it has a good win rate. But if you like to play Control, then this is one of the very few opportunities that you have to do so in Ashes of Outland. It's a viable Control deck with a good win rate. Individual games take ages, but it's a fine deck to climb right now. Hunter is also back in business with multiple archetypes. Last time I made a video like this, I recommended Dragon Hunter and Highlander Hunter, and I'm still recommending both of those. But in addition to those, number 6, Face Hunter. Face Hunter has proven to be solid enough to be recommended as one of the top decks to climb to Legend. It has its own problems, like weak Warrior matchup and then also a weak Priest matchup, but it's doing fine against Demon Hunter and it's doing fine against Rogue, and those are also very common matchups. So overall, games are really fast with this one, and it has some very good matchups in the meta. Coming in at number 5 is Dragon Hunter, another aggressive hunter deck. This time not quite as aggressive, not quite as one-dimensional, bit more gameplay available with this one, and it's still very effective. Compared to the list that I recommended a few weeks ago, there's one card change in this one. Scrapshot has been dropped for an imprisoned Felmo. That seems to be performing slightly better in this archetype, where Scrapshot is still the king in Face Hunter. With Scavenger's Ingenuity, tutor for beasts, and only secrets being 2 copies of Explosive Trap, Dragon Hunter is very well positioned against Demon Hunters. Coming in at number 4 is Galakrond Secret Rogue. Galakrond Secret Rogue is just a full bag of dirty tricks. It can blow out games early with an early Edwin Van Cleef, it can go very long, it can generate infinite resources with lackeys, it can generate tons and tons of random resources, it's going to draw lots of free cards with Galakrond and Dogwaggle. It's just a complete package, it has a little bit of everything. This sort of jack of all trades typically doesn't really have that many weak matchups, and also doesn't have that many awesome matchups, so it's a real player's deck. You have a chance against pretty much everything, but you're not guaranteed to win in most games. But overall the statistics of Rogue are really good. And Tempo Demon Hunter is no longer maybe the best deck in the game. It's still extremely common, it's still the most common deck in the game. And there are several reasons for that. First of all, you got most of the Demon Hunter cards for free, so Demon Hunter decks are pretty cheap to build. Even if you need to craft all the legendaries for it, then you still got so much of the deck for free. Demon Hunter decks are also fairly straightforward to play, and the games are quite short, so there are lots of upsides to playing Demon Hunter, and it's still a very powerful archetype. It's being challenged by the Warrior Surge, lots of warriors around, and some of those faster hunter decks have also found their way to beating Demon Hunters with fair reliability. I've actually chosen to feature 2 different builds of Tempo Demon Hunter, just to showcase a little bit how players are trying to take it for their particular environment. First, there is a build with Priestess of Fury in it, because after Sacrificial Pact was nerfed, Priestess really came back to the meta. It was no longer possible for Warlock to eat that for free and heal up at the same time, so Priestess became viable. But the Priestess builds are a little slower than the pre-nerf builds with just Warglaives in them. So Priestess build it's more like a mid-range deck. It doesn't have that many bad matchups, it has ways to wiggle out of bad situations even in its unfavorables, but it's also not quite as explosive and doesn't win the games as easily. So the Priestess list is a good option if you just want to have a chance every time. And then there's still the Warglaives list around. And this was an interesting Warglaives list because there's some teching going on against all those explosive traps in the form of Beaming Sidekick. So okay, now you can actually give some additional health to your minions, which is something that Demon Hunter typically has not been able to do. So Demon Hunter is forced to slowly also evolve because the meta is still targeting it very heavily. And this Glaives version, this can just blow slow decks right out of the game. But if it gets countered, then it doesn't have as many tools to just keep itself in the game. So Demon Hunter is still very strong. Probably Demon Hunter is still the strongest deck in the game as such. But everyone is targeting Demon Hunter to an extent. It has warped the meta around it. And when everyone is targeting it, it's no longer the best in performance in this environment. Coming in at number 2 is Highlander Hunter. I did most of my Legend climb this season with Highlander Hunter. It was just awesome. I wasn't playing this list, I was playing my own list, but I don't have enough statistics to show that it would be better than this particular build, which has a good sample size of games of it and proven performance figures. Personally, I'm not quite sold on Nagrand Slam. Nagrand Slam is the weakest card in this deck, and most Highlander Hunter decks that are seeing play right now successfully do not include Nagrand Slam. So it's also possible that this deck is successful despite including it, rather than because of it. But be that as it may, this one with its mix of the Orc Merchant, Bone Chewer Brawler, has proven to be a powerful contender. It's another Highlander deck, so it's another this kind of jack-of-all-trades deck. It doesn't really have bad matchups, it can just survive against anything. It doesn't have a ton of really great matchups either. Like, it is very good against Mage and Priest, but you have to work for your wins in most other matchups. But more often than not, you will be able to find that win. And then the current number 1 deck, the best counter to Demon Hunter, it's Pain Warrior. There are at least 4 main variants of Pain Warrior. There's the one with Serpent Eggs, there's the one with bombs in it, then there's the one with Deathwing, and then there's the one with Grom. And according to statistics right now, the Deathwing and the Grom variants are doing the best. The main weakness of this archetype is Priest, and if you run the Grom version, then that has a bit better game against Priest, because Grom just gives you that much more burst damage. The Grom version is also better against Rogue, another matchup where you just want to kill them before they create infinite stuff and then you just can't answer all of that. In contrast, the Deathwing version, I actually played this exact list for my final part of Legend climb this season, from Diamond 2 to Legend. And this version, it's better in the faster matchups and it's better in the mirror matchup. But you really cannot go wrong with either one. So overall, the meta has stabilized quite a bit. We're still seeing some changes. Currently, Demon Hunter is trending downwards, Warrior is trending upwards. But compared to the situation a couple of weeks ago, it's more of an evolution than a revolution, because all the same archetypes that were good 2 weeks ago are still good. And mostly they've changed a card here, another card there. And then there are a couple of other archetypes, because the meta numbers have changed a little, stuff like Priest for example, which isn't that awesome against Demon Hunter, but it's really good against Warrior. Then with Warrior numbers going up, Priest has become more viable. So over the next weeks I expect more of an evolution to happen. Barring some event that brings in new cards or something, the meta should just slowly keep evolving, the numbers start shifting a little bit, and whatever is popular, then the decks that are good against that become better, and then there's this slow turning. And the deck lists are going to get slowly refined, changing a card here, changing a couple of cards there, a little bit of adjustment. But overall we are now entering the relatively stable phase after the second Ashes of Outland nerfs. Subclasses look really weak in the meta, like Shaman and Paladin for example, but there are quite a few decks that are also playable right now. Outside of the ones mentioned here, for example, Highlander Mage is a completely fine deck as well. It just wasn't quite in performance level of these 7 top decks. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.